Hey, and welcome back to another video. I'm happy to see you here. Today I'm going to be doing a little video essay on why I think Labyrinth, the Labyrinth with David Bowie, is the best female coming-of-age movie. I'll have to admit, I am a male, and I haven't seen many female coming-of-age movies. But, really, that's just the title. I'd like to go over why I like the movie so much. The movie starts by introducing the protagonist, as many movies do, and it starts very accurately with the protagonist Sarah reciting some lines out of a book, partaking in some escapism, some unreality, to leave reality for a little while. She then ventures home with the intention of going out that night, only to be reminded that it was her responsibility to take care of her baby brother. Similar to in The Wizard of Oz, at the start of the film, you're introduced to the characters which then later appear alive. You are shown a stuffed animal which later becomes a character called Sir Didymus, I think puppet or something, which ends up being a character called Ludo. You see bookends, the things which have sort of this shape and stop books falling, in the shape of goblins, and you see, think, a little figurine of Jareth, one of the main fantasy icons that Sarah has. That, of course, is the antagonist, played by David Bowie. Notably as well, there's a copy of the book where the wild things are in her room. And similar to in that book, how a misbehaved boy has to leave to a fantasy land to get taught a lesson, the main character soon escapes to a different reality to face her own inner turmoil and grow as a person in a very, I think, symbolic gesture. Her main fantasy, being Jareth, David Bowie, manifests and abducts, bars her from her main responsibility, being her brother. Jareth kidnaps her brother and brings him to a labyrinth. The rest of the movie is then concerned with Sarah trying to fulfill her responsibility and find her brother. And thus Sarah ventures on a journey which acts possibly as an homage or a farewell to the fantasies of her childhood, systematically going through, addressing all of her unrealities and fantasy, and clearing them away to make room to save her baby brother. I think that the reason this represents such a unique opportunity for a coming-of-age story is that it's not purely about empowerment. Of course, empowerment is important, and there is a fair amount of it in this book. It also conveys the message that there is something melancholic about growing up. You may have to say goodbye to various things, but that is how it goes. Of course, this isn't only a good female coming-of-age story. I personally grew up watching this movie, and it definitely influenced me quite a lot. Growing up with anxiety, the main character, Sarah, was one of the coolest and most independent characters that I had seen on screen. Growing up with anxiety, it was quite profound to see someone be as brave and independent as Sarah was, and so I think that this alerted my attention to the great power and independence that people can attain, especially when entering adulthood. However, the ultimate lesson that I think that the movie portrays is that in the end, Sarah loves her brothers more than her escapism. That the selflessness important in being an adult and taking care and love for others is much more fulfilling and rewarding and important than a more childish, selfish ambition and drive, which of course is a part of childhood. That growing up can be scary, can be difficult, can be challenging, it can be exciting, it can be melancholic or sad, but it's worth it. The film ends with Sarah bidding farewell to her childhood and her escapism, bidding farewell to all of the characters and friends that she had made, and accepting her responsibility as a young adult, but with the very important caveat that they would always be there for her if she needed them. You've got things to do, you've got places to be, you've got people to meet, and you've got someone to be, but it's nice to remember that you can always find reprieve. I hope that you found this video interesting, that you liked it, that you got to have a pause and a rest and a break, and good night.